to you both for joining me in this discussion. And now moving ahead, viewers, now Iran's Tasnim agency is claiming that a US pilot ejected from the aircraft and may have been captured by Iranian forces. Iranian media has also released several images of wreckage purportedly from the downed American fighter jet F-35. The photos appear to show the rear stabilizer and other components of an F-15E Strike Eagle belonging to the US Air Force's 494th Fighter Squadron based at Raf Lakenhit. Ajay Jandal is there with me. Ajay, this could be a turning point in the conflict if the US fighter is in IRGC custody. Is there any statement that has come out from the United States?
Pardon, repeat the question.
Ajay, has any statement come out from the United States if its fighter is with the IRGC?
See, as of now, there is no statement, but the way basically this has happened, and now the U.S. forces have reportedly conducting a low-altitude search operations over Iran, and likely they are attempting to locate their pilot. Basically, F-15E was, down there, and pilots are still missing. So that's why their intention is to locate them and to ensure that they can return back. U.S. forces are doing the same operations over there. As far as the searches are concerned, Iranian state media, they are sharing this, and they are claiming that U.S. pilot basically they were ejected there after aircraft was down, and they were captured by the Iranian forces. But how this is true, how what is the truth behind that is something that that will be verified by the authorities of U.S. But as of now, there is no word from U.S. side.
All right, sure. Ajay, thanks very much for the information. I'm also now joined in the discussion by a retired Group Captain Dr. Wayan Jha, former Air Force officer. Dr. Jha, thanks very much for joining us. This, I believe, is a major turning point as far as the conflict and the war goes. If this US fighter is in IRGC custody, like reports are emerging, what possibly do you see next in the course of the war? Do you think US is going to make some amends in its warfare so far?
Well, there are very contradicting reports coming up there. Earlier it was known that today morning one F-35 has been shot down.
Yes.
There were also reports that the pilot had been killed. There were reports from various sources.
This is about the F-15 pilot, not from the F-35 that was downed. Yes.
Yeah. So now you are reporting, as Jandial has reported, it is the wreckage of F-15E, and it is surely the another accident or another shooting down of the aircraft that we are talking of. Well, look, usually there is one tendency. I have been associated with the many aircraft accident investigations. Usually fighter pilots, they opt that when the aircraft is out of control, it's better to eject. Yes, ejecting within the enemy territory puts certain amount of burden onto the nation, because then they will bargain for your release. But then fighter pilot's life is any time much higher, much steeper of cost as compared to anything else. It takes, many of the multi-million dollar worth of training for a fighter pilot to come to that stage. So that is the usual standard SOP for any fighter pilot. That moment aircraft goes out of control, they will try to get out of the enemy territory. But in case if it is not possible, if the aircraft is going to crash land, then eject there, because that is the what will life. Now here in this case, if he or she has ejected over the Iranian airspace, surely they will be he will be captured. And being captured, there are various agencies before it is being handed over to the IRGC, like what we had seen about Abhinandan in Pakistan. First, the people who were there in the ground, in the periphery, they caught him, then they handed over to the police. From there, they went to the higher up. So similar thing could happen here also. That pilot will be captured. Surely he can't escape, because there is a huge outcry against the Americans in Iranian territory. They would like to do everything possible to put US forces in the dark, whatever way it is possible. So pilot will be captured. But then remember one thing: there is a social media today active. Social media would have surely recorded something, and that would go viral sometime sooner or later. That is one way. Secondly, if that pilot is being captured, it is a war. Now, in the war, it becomes mandatory for the enemy country, Iran in this case, to hand over the pilot to the Red Cross or any other agency as per the Geneva Convention. So these are the things which will be applicable, and I believe, Iran also wouldn't like to kill that fighter pilot. He won't get anything. They won't get anything. But they can bargain surely for some chips if it is possible. Otherwise, they will hand over, because that fighter pilot is of no use to Iran. They will hand over to the.
But does this increase the leveraging and the bargaining power of Iran in the negotiations?
Yes, that surely does increase the leveraging power. And we must remember, US puts all effort in securing their soldiers. We have seen 79 Iranian uprising went because of, that was one of the consequences, wherein the American people were to be retrieved from Iran, and they were taken away from there, and that is how it has happened. We have seen it time and again, wherever US forces are being captured or kept. US surely tries every means to secure them or to get them released, handed over to them. So in this case also, Iran may have some bargaining chip, that is beside the point, but American will go all way out to secure the release of that pilot in case if that pilot is within the custody of the Iranian forces.
All right, sure. Stay on with me, Doctor. More updates are coming in now. Iran's Tasneem news agency is also claiming that US Blackhawk helicopter, which was deployed to rescue pilots